Today is 3rd of July 2023. We are in Military Media Center, and that's a briefing of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. Russia continues to wage conquest war against Ukraine, and during the last week, since 26th of June to 2nd of July, the Russian Federation against Ukraine inflicted 34 missile and 237 air attacks. If we are talking about every week tens, we have more than 40 attacks per day against territory of our state. Both on south and east, there are offensive of defense forces of Ukraine, as well as defensive operation, because Russian Federation is also waging offense on several directions. The Russian Federation conducts offensive on Lyman, Avdiivka and Mariinka direction on east. It is trying to oust our troops from taking position, but faces decent repelling from the armed forces of Ukraine. Right now, severe hostilities are taking place on the east. The enemy offenses in order to set the full control over localities Mariinka and Avdiivka, nevertheless unsuccessfully. On Lyman axis, the Russian Federation troops continue unsuccessful assault aimed to oust our troops in the vicinity of Serebryanka forest and create favorable conditions for further offensive on Lyman axis. De facto, right now, severe hostilities are taking place there. On Bakhmut direction, Ukrainian troops during the last week, which means since 26th of June to 2nd of July, have been approaching to the southern flank. There are some success of the armed forces of Ukraine. Nevertheless, on northern flank during the whole week, the hostilities were taking place and they continue there. The main hostilities on Bakhmut axis are taking place in the vicinity of Barhivka and Klishivka. During the week, on the east, in particular in Bakhmut axis, operational situation was improved of our troops, and liberated area was expanded by 9 square kilometers. In terms of shelling, intensity of shelling from the side of the Russian Federation on east increased in 2 times during the last week. And last week, since 26th of June to 2nd of July, there were more than 11,000 of shelling, comparatively to the previous week, 6,500 of shelling, which means that Ukrainian forces right now are facing intensive shelling from the side of the enemy, mining activity, and concentration of reserves of the enemy troops. The Russian Federation is gathering its troops on the eastern part, and during the last week they took 2 regiments of airborne troops to Bakhmut axis. On south, the defense forces of Ukraine continue offensive operation on Melitopol and Berdyansk axis. In particular, during the last week, from 26th of June to 2nd of July, on south, we have liberated more than 28 square kilometers. If we are talking in general about offensive operation, defense forces liberated more than 150 square kilometers on the south. Moreover, the armed forces of Ukraine destroy enemy forces both on south and east, and this way they are decreasing offensive capability of the Russian Federation. For instance, during the last week, just on the south, we destroyed more than 115 elements of equipment of the Russian armed forces. 94 places of location of the Russian troops were attacked by Ukrainian troops during the last week. Moreover, our armed forces destroyed 22 surface-to-air missile complexes of the Russian Federation during the week, as well as 19 ammunition depot, 5 electronic warfare stations, 7 command and control posts, 44 persons have been captured, and among 35 launched Shahed UAVs, Iranian-made 31 were destroyed. In this way, the armed forces of Ukraine were moving forward during the last week, but at the same time they were powerful in destruction of the enemy, of the armed forces of the Russian Federation, in which way they decreased their